Hey everybody, it's your pal Chris, aka Mr. Ramon 420, and I'm back with my third review this week. Yay! 3 reviews, and I will never do that again. I can stick to 2 reviews at a time, but man, it was just whoa. And I'll be honest with you, after seeing the other 2 I talked to you about this week, I really thought about just giving up for a while and just taking a break because I couldn't handle this shit anymore. And then I watched the 3rd film that I was asked to check out, and it changed my mind. I thought, okay, it's not the worst film I've seen, and it's not the greatest, but it was definitely enjoyable, more enjoyable than the other 2 I saw this week. And it took me away from saying to myself, yeah, I'm going to give up, but not anymore. I'm be able to stick around, so yay! And the film actually comes from director Gordy Price. Now, Gordy's been in a lot of films over his lifetime, but he's only directed 3. This is his 3rd one. They just wrapped up, and it's an interesting little film, all the way from Virginia, and the film is entitled Crawford Road. And it's basically the story of all the horrible details and the killings that occurred in one of this tiny little area known as Crawford Road. So why don't we sit back, relax, and I'll tell you the story of Crawford Road. Oh, well, I'm glad you guys stuck around. Totally appreciate it. Alright, so the film takes place in 3 different sections. Yorktown, Virginia, Crawford Road, and the Colonial Parkway. But Crawford Road is the place where all the weird shit occurs. Now, the film basically tells the story of so many horrors that have occurred, but we start off with a group that has come together to hear the history and deaths of Crawford Road, as well as a detective who's there trying to find a mystery that involves Crawford Road. But the presenter basically goes through the history of a lot of horrific deaths that have occurred while dealing with Crawford Road. And the first story involves the Civil War, which, oh man, the film the first story involves a slave running away from his master's manor, and we're introduced to Cyrus, a guy who's basically a slave hunter. He makes sure he brings back the slaves to the master. And wow, his conversations, his discussions, are meant to be heard back in the Civil War. So the language is a little rough for a few people, I would say so. But then the slave hunter is introduced to a guy who brings a woman to his little pad to be married to. And so the guy, whose name is Cyrus, says he'll marry the girl, and tomorrow they'll get married. And the guy, who's fucking racist as hell, doesn't want to deal with a baby. I didn't say everything was this, but he didn't want to deal with the baby. So he gets rid of the baby. You have to see for yourself to see how he does. The mom was a little peeved, so she took care of Cyrus, and she decided if she can't live with the baby, she doesn't want to live anymore. That's the end of story 1. And this continues throughout the rest of the film. There's a couple of lovebirds that come together and are having a nice time, and they get killed off by a couple serial killers. There's a drug deal that goes wrong, and one of the people named Vlad, who is played by Gordy Price, again, sees visions when he goes to Crawford Road. Now, this is the situation. Whenever anyone's in the presence of Crawford Road, bad shit happens. Whether they see ghosts, or something goes wrong with their car, or a weird-looking bee that comes after them, it just continues the process. It gets really fucked up and kind of confusing at times. But in the end, you get an ending. You're not quite sure what to think of the ending, but you get an ending. Yeah, the film is just, it shows the deaths of people. Some of the effects work pretty well with it, some not so much. But, the process comes to an end, and I don't want to tell you how it ends and what exactly happens, because even I was a little confused by what occurred. But still, it was still better than the other two films I saw. So, let me tell you what I thought of the Crawford Road experience. And welcome back. I really appreciate you guys. Stick around and see what I thought of the film. It wasn't the greatest, nor was the worst. The other two were really fucking bad. But I could see Gordy was trying. Unfortunately, there was a few problems with the ADR. When sometimes people smoke, or the gunshots where you would see flashbangs all over where the shooting was occurring. It didn't make much sense. It was just a little slow at times, a little confusing. The editing didn't work out too well for the most part, because there was a scene where a few people were dying in a car, and it didn't make much sense as to going back to them when people are already dead. It was a little iffy. Sound effects, not the greatest, but I gotta say the character of Vlad and Cyrus, played by Gordy, was pretty good. Cyrus was an evil motherfucker, and so was Vlad, so that was an interesting concept. But I gotta say, I definitely check it out again. It was weird. Some things occurred that didn't make any sense, but that's okay. I will give you guys a link to where you can check it out for yourself. You can rent it or own it, video on demand, and that way you can see for yourself what you thought of it. So yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. So you can enjoy it with your friends and say, "Oh, he said that. Oh, fuck." So we'll continue with that if you ever want to talk about that. All right, guys. I will give you a link to where you could check out this, and I'll show you one of the trailers that Gordy did for Crawford Road. There was quite a few. There was one short that was about 8.5 minutes. Sorry, it was just so weird. I will give you guys the link to check out my Facebook page. That way you can see on top of what's happening with everything that's Mr. Roman 420. Yeah. Alright, guys. You tune next week, and I'll have something interesting for you. I don't know what. It'll be a review. Until next time, rate, comment, subscribe, and don't drink the Kool-Aid. See ya.